We live in an interesting era where we constantly face with controversial social issues. Companies, though, increasingly are trying to stand up to support or oppose these controversial issues. Many companies changed their logo color to support Pride Months and the LGBTQ community. Target applied an inclusive bathroom policy in response to North Carolina's bathroom bill. More recently, Nike launched an ad using Colin Kaepernick as its spokesperson, supporting his protest against police brutality and racial discrimination. Some other companies also take more conservative position. Chick-fil-A posted messages and issued announcements to condemn marriage equality ruling. But no matter what the message is or what the stance is, there's always a large group of customers that appreciate these actions and support it. Supportive customers formed lines in front of Chick-fil-A to purchase their product to show their appreciation. Many customers also take it to social media to show their loyalty to Nike and their purchase intentions after the Kaepernick ad. But at the same time, there is another group of customers that are going to be very upset and angry. Hashtag boycotts start trending. People start videotaping, destroying the products of firms on social media. So then the question is, why? Why do firms do this? Why are they willingly trying to upset a large group of their customers? Well, if we go to Marketing 101, marketing actions were focused on 4 Ps: product, promotion, price, and place. Later on, we added more Ps to the bunch, but still, the focus was on increasing market share and increasing profit. But in recent years, as technology is advancing, social media is developing, and the consumer knowledge is developing, customers expect firms to be more than merely just profit-making machines. They expect firms to focus on another P, an important P, purpose. Companies now are expected to have a purpose, an image, a value system. They are expected to use their resources and their influence to advance societal good. When companies started to focusing on the P of purpose, the first wave of actions were philanthropic actions, where firms would engage and invest on advancing societal good that is widely desirable. For example, they will hold fundraising for research institutions to find cure for cancer. Many firms also assign a part of their sales for charities and NGOs. These actions are widely favorable. Almost everyone likes it. We all want cure for cancer. Supportive customers also appreciate it. They increase their loyalty to the firm, and the financial performance of the firm will increase. But the examples that I gave you at the beginning of this talk are slightly of a different nature. Here also, firms are trying to respond to the P of purpose. Here also, firms are trying to advance societal good, but the good is debatable. Each one of you here have certain beliefs about these issues. As I gave you these examples, you had some feelings about these firms, some negative or positive emotion. But the person sitting right next to you might have the exact opposite emotions. And that's the nature of activism. The focal issues are controversial, are political, partisan. Corporate activism aims to support issues that create polarizing reactions. And that's why it's very difficult to predict consequences of activism. So I teamed up with a group of my friends and colleagues to find these consequences. We study two important stakeholders of the firms, investors and consumers. And we ask, what happens when firms engage in activism to their firm value and to their sales? When firms engage in activism, market divides to two groups: angry customers who want to punish the firm, happy customers who want to reward the firm. Studies in psychology and journalism tell us that the angry behavior, the angry tweet, the lighting shoes on fire videos will loom larger. They grab more time and volume of media, and they attract more attention. This effect is called negativity bias. When you have an equal amount of positive or negative emotions, the negative seems to be more important, bigger, more intense. So we also predicted that investors should react negatively to these corporate activism. To test it, we collected almost 300 corporate activism events, similar to examples that I gave you at the beginning of the talk, liberal and conservative, from 142 firms during 5 years. Then we observed the stock price changes of these firms when activism occurs. What we saw was that, as the theory predicted, we see a 0.5% dip in the stock price of the firms when they engage in activism. Now, you might think 0.5% is trivial. But for giant companies like Nike, with market capital of almost $100 billion, this is $500 million change in their firm value in less than a week. This is not that trivial. But then, are all the corporate activisms going to induce the same reactions? Does it matter what the issue is that the firm is supporting? Does it matter if it's liberal or conservative position? To answer that, I'm going to show you a map. This is a heat map that shows investors' reactions to activism if the firm is located in one of the states of the United States. The darker the color is, the worse the reaction is, the more negative it is. Now, I want you to look at this and guess if this activism had a liberal or conservative position, right? As you might have guessed, this is a map for liberal corporate activism. We can have the same map for conservative positions as well. But if a firm is located in California or New York or any other liberal-leaning states, it is reasonable to assume that their surrounding, their stakeholders, like their regulators, their suppliers, many of their local customers and investors, will probably have the majority political ideology, right? They probably are leaning more liberal as well. So if the activism, if the firm is supporting a liberal cause, like the Kaepernick ad, it's more aligned with the belief system of their surrounding. So it will get less negative reaction compared to a firm that is a liberal activist located in more conservative states like Mississippi or Virginia. There are many different factors that can affect this reaction of investors to activism. In the interest of time, I'm going to only focus on one more factor, alliance. Sometimes firms join forces to conduct activism. For example, a large number of firms jointly issued a statement urging Supreme Court justices to rule for marriage equality. Similarly, in 2017, a lot of firms joined forces with faith communities and with educational centers to condemn travel ban that was against 7 Muslim majority countries. Our research shows that when firms collectively conduct activism, the issue seems more normal. It seems that there's more support for that issue. And also, the blame gets divided between the participating firms. And therefore, you will see a smaller negative reaction to those firms. We then focused on the long-term effect of activism. We focused on the customers of the firm. We collected financial records of firms a quarter before to a quarter after when they engaged in activism. It turns out their sales, their revenue, their cash flow, and their net profit increases when they engage in activism. It turns out that boycotts die down soon. But when customers learn that their belief system is close to the firm, they support the firm. They increase their loyalty. Companies actually can create identity brands, which means that a group of customers identifies with their belief system by doing activism. So, corporate activism seems to be beneficial for firms. But this positive financial consequence introduces a risk that firms use this as another profit-seeking strategy. So then what should we do? What should we as customers do to prevent that? We need to hold firms accountable. If firms are supporting an issue that we believe is legitimate, we need to support them. We need to be loyal to them. We need to purchase their products. But if firms are supporting something that we believe is detrimental to our society and our societal well-being, we need to stop the temporary epic moves that goes viral on social media for one day or two and then forget. We need to go that extra mile. We need to pay that extra price to be able to hold these firms accountable. So as you leave this session today and you're going to take your phones out and browse on your social media page, if you come across a corporate activism or a boycott challenge, I hope that you look at it with a new perspective and make your next move more meaningful. Thank you.